My beloved child, the moment you pressed play, something in the unseen world shifted, because today you're about to hear the truth that's been circling around you like a shadow, a truth that the person you love deeply has been terrified of facing. They aren't avoiding you by accident, they aren't disappearing because they're busy, and they aren't silent because they lost interest, no. Their silence is calculated, intentional, rehearsed, and wrapped around a dark secret they've been trying to bury under forced smiles and half-written messages. They know that if you ever found out the real reason behind their distance, everything you feel for them might change forever. And that reason begins with a marriage they should have never agreed to, a marriage connected to someone so close, so unexpected, that even the walls of their own house tremble with the weight of it. Listen carefully, because the deeper you go into this revelation, the more you'll understand why their energy started shifting the moment this secret formed. They didn't want you to notice how their replies became shorter, how their voice cracked whenever you asked if something was wrong, or how their eyes looked like they were hiding an entire storm. They kept pretending they were fine, pretending life was normal, pretending nothing was being forced onto them. Yet every night, they sat alone with a truth that choked them. Someone in their family, someone with authority, history, and emotional power over them, has been pushing them into a marriage arrangement they never wanted. A marriage tied to expectations, obligations, and a legacy they never asked for. And the person they're being pushed to marry is someone you would never expect. Someone whose presence twists their heart with guilt every time they even think about you. Here's the shocking part, the part that will make everything suddenly make sense. They didn't disappear because they chose someone else. They disappeared because someone else was chosen for them. Their silence isn't rejection, it's punishment. They've been told they must break ties with you. They've been told that loving you is a mistake. They've been told that if they don't obey, something in their family or personal life will collapse. The walls around them have been closing in so fast that they can't even breathe without feeling like they're betraying someone. So instead of coming to you with the truth, they've been hiding. Because the darkest part of their secret isn't the marriage, it's who orchestrated it, and who the marriage is supposed to be with. It's a bond soaked in manipulation, pressure, and emotional blackmail. And they know that once you learn the name involved, once you understand whose influence is forcing this marriage, the entire story of their life will change in your eyes. Let me take you deeper, into the actual moment they decided to avoid you. It happened after a conversation they never told you about, an argument behind closed doors where voices rose, accusations were thrown, and your name was mentioned like a forbidden spark. They were told, clearly and coldly, that if they didn't distance themselves from you, they would destroy everything their family built. They were reminded of debts, traditions, obligations, and responsibilities they never asked to inherit. They were reminded of the person they're being pushed to marry, someone within the circle they were raised in, someone whose connection is tied to family power, business alliances, old promises, or internal politics. And the person you love stood there, trembling, realizing that every choice they make is now being watched. Every message they send is being monitored. Every emotional step toward you is being counted. So they chose the one thing they thought would protect you, distance. Even if it tore them apart. And now, you're standing at the edge of this truth, where everything begins to align in a way you never expected. Their silence wasn't disinterest, it was fear. Their distance wasn't betrayal. It was pressure. Their disappearance wasn't because of someone better, it was because of someone forced. They're hiding a marriage tied to a person whose closeness will shock you. A person whose identity they fear you discovering. Because once you know who it is, you'll understand why they've been breaking apart quietly, why they've been crying in secret, why they've been unable to face you. This story is not simple. This story is not romantic. This story is not peaceful. This story is a battle between love and pressure, heart and obligation, destiny and control. And in the next part, you're going to see exactly how deep this secret goes, because the truth behind who they're being forced to marry will change everything you thought you knew about them. My beloved child, stay with me now, because what I'm about to reveal will pull you even deeper into the truth your heart has been sensing but your mind has been afraid to accept. The person you love didn't just distance themselves randomly, they were cornered, emotionally trapped, backed against a wall by people who knew exactly how to control them. The pressure wasn't light. The pressure wasn't subtle. It was the kind of pressure that makes someone's hands tremble every time they even think about you. They've been living in a silent agony, pretending that life is normal while hiding the biggest storm of their life. And you're about to understand why this storm became impossible for them to shield from you. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. Let me tell you something your soul already suspects, because the moment they stopped replying, the moment their voice cracked, the moment they began avoiding your eyes, you felt it. Something wasn't right. Something was wrong on a level words couldn't explain. They weren't pushing you away because they stopped loving you. They were pushing you away because someone in their family, someone with power, influence, and a terrifying ability to twist their emotions, stepped in. This person has been shaping decisions behind the scenes, making calls, arranging meetings, and planning a marriage that goes against every fiber of your person's heart. And the shocking truth is this: the marriage isn't about love. It isn't about compatibility. It isn't about happiness. It's about image, reputation, control, and a hidden deal their family doesn't want exposed. Now listen closely, because this is where the truth becomes almost unbelievable, yet it's unfolding as you watch this. Your person didn't want to tell you who they're being pushed to marry, because the identity of that person is so close, so connected, so intertwined with their own family structure that the revelation would hit you like a wave. This person they're being pressured to marry is someone they've grown up around. Someone who's been in the family circle for years. Someone whose presence has always been accepted, praised, and used to maintain bonds between households. And your person has been suffocating under the expectation that they must sacrifice their own happiness to maintain this alliance. They tried to reach out to you so many times, but every attempt was stopped by the fear of hurting you, the fear of disappointing their family, and the fear of tearing themselves apart. Here's the moment you need to know about, the exact moment everything shifted. They received a message, a simple, cold message, that changed everything. In that message, they were told that their marriage date was being discussed behind closed doors. They were told that family elders had already started preparing the foundation. They were told that resisting would create chaos. And in that moment, they looked at their phone, your name glowing softly on their screen, and they froze. They wanted to tell you everything. They wanted to run to you and confess the truth. But instead, their heart shattered, because they realized that if they told you the secret, you might walk away. Or worse, you might get dragged into the conflict that their family has been hiding for years. Stay with me now, because here's the part that will anchor your audience to the screen without letting them scroll even for a second. Your person's avoidance is not distance, it's protection. Every time they avoid your calls, every time they don't reply, every time they turn away. They're doing it because they're terrified of what you'll feel when you learn that the marriage they're being forced into involves a person so close to their roots that it could shatter the meaning of love in their life. They don't want you caught in the crossfire. They don't want you blamed. They don't want you hurt. They're carrying this secret alone because they think they're shielding you, even though it's destroying them slowly. My beloved child, breathe slowly and listen, because with every layer we peel back, the truth becomes heavier, more tangled, and more explosive than anything you imagined. The person you love hasn't been avoiding you casually, they've been avoiding you deliberately, with a fear so intense it keeps them awake at night. And now, you're about to see the exact trigger, the exact moment their world collapsed in a way that forced them to choose silence over honesty. There is something you need to understand, something that changes the entire meaning of their behavior. They were not given a choice. Their family didn't ask them what they wanted. They didn't ask who they loved. They didn't ask who kept them alive emotionally. They simply decided, coldly, quietly, powerfully, that your person would be tied into a marriage that protects their image, their legacy, their alliances. Your person was treated like a transaction wrapped in tradition. And deep down, they knew that if they told you this, you would never see them the same again. So they chose to carry this weight in silence, hoping you would somehow feel their love through the distance. But here comes the part that shatters everything, the part they've been fighting to keep hidden at all costs. The person they're being pushed to marry isn't an outsider. It isn't a stranger. It isn't someone distant, unfamiliar, or disconnected. It's someone whose presence has been intruding into their life since childhood. Someone their family considers safe, suitable, and proper. Someone who has been woven into their world so tightly that breaking away would create a storm their family doesn't want to deal with. And your person, the one who dreams of you, thinks of you, aches for you, has been drowning under the pressure of pretending they don't already know who they want to spend their life with, you. Let me take you inside their mind, to the moment that destroyed them emotionally. They were sitting in a room surrounded by family, and every word spoken felt like a knife. They heard the marriage being discussed as if their heart didn't matter. They heard their future being signed away like a contract. They heard praise for the person they're being pushed toward, someone they don't love, someone they don't want, someone who doesn't make their soul feel alive. And while all this was happening, they kept glancing at their phone, your messages sitting there unanswered, each one reminding them of the life they want but can't reach. Their chest tightened. Their eyes burned. Their mind screamed your name silently. But they couldn't move. They felt trapped, suffocated, locked in a life that wasn't theirs. And here's what hurts the most, the detail they've been terrified of telling you: someone in their family, someone older, respected, and unchallenged, knows about you. And that person has made it clear that your presence is a problem. You appear in conversations you're not supposed to be part of. Your name echoes in rooms you've never entered. You've become the reason their heart is being controlled so tightly. This family member believes that their marriage should remain within the circle, within the boundaries of tradition, and you threaten that image simply by existing in their heart. This is why your person has been acting strange. This is why they've been distancing themselves. They're scared that if they keep choosing you openly, someone will punish them emotionally in ways they can't handle. Now you see why they're breaking, why their soul feels torn between love and obligation. They want you. They always did. They still do. But they're fighting a battle you can't see, a battle where every move is watched, every message is questioned, every emotion is judged. And they're terrified that if they pull you into this mess, you'll end up hurt in ways they won't forgive themselves for. So instead of telling you the truth, they stepped back, hoping that distance would protect you, even if it destroys them. My beloved child, lean closer now, because the truth is reaching the point where hearts break, alliances crack, and the real reason behind their avoidance finally steps into the light. You've been sensing it, haven't you? That strange heaviness in the air, that feeling that something enormous is hiding just behind their silence. Today, that shadow gets a name. The person they're being pushed to marry isn't random. It isn't a distant cousin of a far-off family. It's someone whose presence has always lingered around them, someone their family promoted, protected, praised, and practically raised alongside them. And the moment you hear this identity, you'll understand why your person is drowning in guilt every time they think of you. Listen carefully, because this is where the entire story tilts. The marriage being forced onto them involves someone so closely intertwined in their life that even they feel uncomfortable when the topic is brought up. This person, let's call them the chosen one, has been considered the perfect match since childhood. The families share history, business, emotional bonds, and a sense of legacy that goes generations deep. And because of this, your person has been treated like a pawn in a plan that was made long before you ever entered their life. The chosen one has been orbiting them for years, not out of love, but out of expectation. And the moment your name entered your person's heart, the entire structure of those expectations began to crack. But here's the explosive truth, the one they've been hiding from you because they know it will shake you. The chosen one isn't just someone the family knows well, they are someone who has been emotionally invested in your person for years. Someone who has been waiting, watching, hoping, and subtly influencing the narrative behind the scenes. Someone who noticed the shift the moment your person fell for you. Someone who became jealous, protective, threatened. Someone who brought your name to the family elders with the intention of removing you from the picture. And the family, already bound to the idea of merging with the chosen one's household, listened. Let me show you what your person went through, because this moment broke them in ways they will never admit. They were called into a private room, where the chosen one sat with a quiet confidence, and the elders stood with folded arms. Your person felt the tension before a single word was spoken. Then, the truth came out like a blade: this marriage will happen. We've already decided. And you will end that connection with the one you've been talking to. That one was you. Your person's heart dropped. Their stomach twisted. Their mind screamed. But the room around them didn't care. The chosen one smiled softly, pretending concern, pretending understanding, but their eyes held the victory of someone who had chased this outcome for years. Your person sat there, numb, realizing their life was being rewritten without their consent. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks, with contributions of up to $20. And here's the twist that will stun you, the twist your person couldn't bring themselves to tell you. The chosen one has been trying to get close to your person for a long time, but not out of love. Out of obsession with status, influence, and the image of being connected to a person like them. They believe this marriage elevates their future. They believe this arrangement gives them power. They believe they deserve your person, simply because the families once played together, ate together, celebrated festivals together. And when they noticed the emotional shift in your person, when they sensed that someone else had captured their heart, they panicked. They ran to the elders. They extracted promises. They manipulated emotions. And they made sure your person's love for you became a problem the family needed to solve immediately. Your person didn't walk away from you, they were dragged. They didn't lose interest, they lost freedom. And the guilt of loving you while being chained to a decision they never wanted, has been haunting them every second. My beloved child, prepare yourself, because this is the part where their heart completely shattered. Quietly, secretly, painfully. This is the part they've been trying to hide from everyone, especially from you. Their avoidance wasn't the beginning of the story, it was the collapse. And now you're about to witness the exact moment their soul broke under the pressure of a truth they were never meant to carry alone. This isn't just drama. This is the emotional wound that has been bleeding inside them since the day everything fell apart. Let me take you to that night, the night they almost texted you everything, the truth, the fear, the pressure, the secret marriage, the chosen one. They sat alone in a dim room, the only light coming from their phone screen as your name glowed like a heartbeat. They had typed a message, long, trembling, honest, I need to tell you something, something heavy. Their fingers hovered over the send button, their eyes burning with tears they refused to let fall. They imagined your reaction, imagined your pain, imagined the confusion in your voice. And instead of giving you the truth, they deleted the message. Not because they didn't trust you, but because they didn't trust themselves to survive the look of hurt they imagined you would have. They felt like they were failing you, failing their family, failing themselves, all at the same time. But here's the part that will shake you, the part they've been hiding not out of shame, but out of fear for your safety and peace. The chosen one wasn't just waiting in the background. They were watching. Watching closely. Watching every shift in your person's life. Watching every emotional breadcrumb that pointed toward you. This chosen one had been feeding information to the family, monitoring your person's moves, manipulating circumstances subtly, and making sure the elders believed that marrying them was the only respectable option. And your person knew this. They knew someone was constantly behind them, checking their phone timing, their expression changes, their sudden happiness, their sudden sadness. They felt monitored, cornered, suffocated. And that night, as they stared at your contact name, they realized something terrifying, involving you could pull you into the eyes of someone who already sees you as a threat. Let me show you the moment that broke them completely, the moment their heart finally collapsed under the weight of the secret. They were called into another room, this time, smaller, darker, more suffocating. No elders. Just one person waiting inside, the chosen one. The door closed behind them with a quiet click. And the chosen one spoke with a softness that felt more dangerous than shouting. They said, "Stop holding on to someone you can't have. We both know who your family will choose. Accept it. Before things get harder for you." Those words hit like ice. Your person froze. The chest tightened painfully. Their palms turned cold. In that moment, something inside them cracked so deeply that they had to sit down to steady themselves. Because the chosen one wasn't talking about love or care, they were talking about possession. About winning. About eliminating competition. And you were that competition. Now here's the chilling truth, the truth your person almost told you but swallowed because of how heavy it is. The chosen one doesn't want this marriage for love. They want it for control. They want the status. They want the influence. They want the visibility. And most of all, they want to ensure that your person never belongs to someone else. They aren't marrying into a family, they're taking a prize. A title. An advantage. And your person knows this. That's why their soul feels trapped. That's why they've been avoiding you. Not because they don't feel anything, but because their feelings for you are the only thing the chosen one cannot control. And that terrifies them. Here is the moment that will stay with you, the part that explains everything. That same night, after the chosen one left the room, your person broke down, silently, helplessly, painfully. They sat on the floor, holding their head in their hands, whispering your name like a prayer. They wanted you. They wanted the life they imagined with you. They wanted your warmth, your voice, your presence. But they were stuck in a world where their heart wasn't allowed to choose. And the guilt of hurting you hurt them even more. My beloved child, stay close, because now we step into the darkest chamber of this entire story. The hidden motive behind the chosen one's obsession, the secret that even the elders don't know, the truth that makes your person's fear suddenly make perfect sense. You've seen the pressure, the manipulation, the emotional traps. But what you're about to hear is the real engine behind this forced marriage, the reason the chosen one has been fighting silently, strategically, and aggressively to erase you from your person's life. This isn't about tradition. This isn't about family honor. This isn't even about a long-standing alliance. This is about something the chosen one has been hiding for years, something that would shock everyone if it were exposed. And your person discovered it by accident. Which is why their behavior shifted so drastically. Let me take you back to that day, the day everything changed behind the scenes. Your person overheard a conversation they were never meant to hear. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. It was whispered, two voices in a corner, thinking nobody was listening. Your person froze when they heard the chosen one's name, and then they heard the truth. The chosen one had a hidden agenda, a hidden connection, a hidden reason for pushing so aggressively for this marriage. They weren't just chasing a union, they were running from something. Something dangerous. Something scandalous. Something that, if revealed, would destroy their image instantly. And marrying into your person's family would give them protection, stability, and a shield from the consequences of their own actions. That's when your person realized, they're not the one being chosen. They're the one being used. Here comes the part that twists everything, the part that explains why your person went silent, why they started shaking during conversations, why they avoided your eyes as if the truth might slip out. The chosen one had been involved in a situation, deep, risky, messy, one that could ruin their reputation forever. And instead of owning up to it, they decided the best way to escape it was to tie themselves to someone who could shield them. Your person was that shield. Your person was the cover. Your person was the escape route. But instead of confessing this, the chosen one manipulated the narrative, telling the elders that your person had feelings cropping up in the wrong place, pointing toward you, turning the family against your presence. All while hiding the fact that they were the one with the dangerous past. Your person figured it out, but they were terrified of exposing the truth. Because doing so would drag the family into a conflict they aren't ready for. And now, let me show you the moment that terrified your person so deeply that they stopped replying to you altogether. They confronted the chosen one privately, demanding answers. The chosen one didn't deny it. Didn't apologize. Didn't show guilt. Instead, they leaned closer and said something that froze your person's blood: "If you expose me, you'll destroy your own family. They've already promised this marriage. They've already set the foundation. If you break it, everything collapses, and everyone will blame you." That was the moment your person realized they were trapped in a web where truth equals destruction, silence equals sacrifice, and love becomes a forbidden luxury. They left that room shaken, defeated, and carrying a weight no one should ever have to carry alone. And that same night, they disappeared from your messages. Not because they wanted distance, but because they didn't know how to hold your hand without dragging you into the storm. Now you see the depth of this darkness, the reason your person has been avoiding you with such trembling intensity. They aren't running from love, they're running from a trap set by someone who wants both power and protection. They've been trying to keep you safe from a secret that could pull you into a political, emotional, and family war. But here's the part they didn't expect: their heart, no matter how controlled, still beats toward you. They still check your messages. They still miss you at night. They still whisper your name when they think no one can hear. The more they try to stay away, the deeper they fall. And in the next part, you will see the moment where everything explodes. The moment the chosen one's secret begins to slip out, the moment your person can no longer hide their feelings, and the moment destiny forces a confrontation that no one is prepared for.